Because if I'm seeing you as a negative light, and maybe I haven't, because I'll tell you this, with the question, it was a lot of guys that said, hell no, I ain't forgiving none of y'all. And these men were like 20, 21, and never been in a relationship. But they see us on TV, and they see us on Love and Hip Hop, and then they see the men that has had bad experiences, and they're like, I don't want no part of that, even though they've never been with a woman or never a real serious relationship. And so it's like, man, we are losing the young ones. That's why I said we're in dire need. But
yeah,
and I'm not trying to ramble, but I tell you something else too. Who used to get on my nerves was Barbershop. Eve.
What about Eve?
Who drank my apple juice?
Nah, you
gotta relax.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
We talk about being in our masculine, and then I'm like, okay, that is the epitome, and that's what men don't want. She couldn't hold down a relationship either. She was with a Pookie Ray that was cheating on her, and then she tried to get with Michael Ealy, but he was like, yeah, you got to chill. It was the attitude. And again, it's just.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. We didn't have some characters.
We've had some characters that show Black women in a light. And unfortunately, I can't say that it's a light that's not true.
Yeah. And it's like that is true. That it's true that our reality, like our entertainment should somewhat, at least to an extent, reflect reality. Especially if it's not fiction. If you're talking about something based on life, it should reflect reality in order for it to be more relatable. So it's like I understand those characters, those Black women, the Preciouses and things of that. I can understand those characters because those are things that we go through. These are real things. But also on the other hand of that, it's like there's no balance, the average Black woman, that's why I was even talking about with the Huxtables, because they were upper class. Where's the average middle class Black family where the dad is working, the mom doesn't really work like that, she stays at home with the kids, or she's working part-time, but she's primarily with the kids, and there's an older brother,
we don't have that.
We don't have it.
It's not a balance.
There's no balance,
And so that's why I see history repeating itself, because back in the 80s and 90s, there was really not a balance as far as with the Black men. Like if you look at Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, Ricky shout out, but they killed Ricky. So, he couldn't even live. So, they took him out. So it wasn't a balance then. And now on the flip side, even with the women, it's not a balance. And then again, we're trying to say, we're trying to show you that there's women that are out there. Like we're not completely just, all bad. But if they don't see it, if they've been around, their mothers that hasn't been, single and upset, and then they've been around women that are the same, who are they gonna see? And we have to have some kind of depiction. So let's talk about forgiveness. Do you think it's too late?
For Black men to forgive Black women? For the most part, no. I got a hopeful no. It's not too late.
Okay. Why do you think it's not?
Well, for one, I do see, just based on a social media level or service level, you do see a lot of content. Of course, Black men who have been speaking up very loudly and proudly, in the manosphere, and holding Black women accountable, holding themselves accountable, talking about building and rebuilding the Black family and relationships and things of that nature. So I think a lot of Black women have catch hold to that, and of course there was a time, it was going for a long time where we was not listening at all. But now I think they've gotten to a point, or getting to a point, where it's kind of hard to ignore. Everybody walking to a Black woman. I mean, I've literally walked past somebody talking about Kevin Samuels, like literally, you know what I'm saying? So a couple times actually I brought him up in conversation, and they knew who I was talking about, even if they didn't watch him a lot or wasn't a fan. They've heard of him. So it's getting to a point where they really can't be ignored, which is I love, because they shouldn't have been for so long in the first place. So with that, I do believe that there is hope within that, because we're starting to communicate more. We're starting to have productive conversations, and actually heal, actually understand what's been going on the other side of things, and really exchange perspectives. So on that note, I can say, yeah, like, hopefully, yes. But I will say, I'm gonna keep it real. I talk to my sisters, I talk to my friends, I listen to and observe others, peers, and things of that nature. And I do see a lot of Black women who are hesitant or who are resistant, in changing or holding themselves accountable for the betterment of our community. I do see a lot. I can't ignore them. Yeah, there's a lot there. But there's also very humble and willing Black women who are ready and willing to listen. And it's you got to search for them. Okay, I'm not gonna say they just they're kind of a dime a dozen at this point, because a lot of us are unaware of how bad we have gotten. But the ones that are listening, they really listening. Like the ones like myself, like you, the ones that are really listening, we really trying to spread that information. We're really trying to connect the dots and get other Black women on board as well. So that's helping as well. We're really feeling that. It's not like okay, well, I heard him. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. It's like when we understand, it clicks. Okay, right. We can relate that to all parts of our lives, which is better for all of us. At the end of the day. So that's what I'm saying. It's a hopeful yes. And because brothers, like I said, I talk to a lot of brothers, and they're still willing. A lot of them are still really willing to meet us halfway, or to wait on us, be patient with us. A lot of them, like, it's kind of sad, because a couple of brothers, I'm like, why the hell are you waiting on her? She don't need it. Some of us you ain't gotta wait on. She wanna leave her ass behind. But a lot of them really are willing to meet us halfway. So I think with those brothers who's really still trying to latch on and keep our communities together, and the sisters that's trying as well, we can rebuild. It's definitely possible, and it's definitely possible for them to forgive, for us to heal, because there's a lot of deep-rooted trauma there between the both of us. And that's something that a lot of us don't even understand, is half of the trauma that we've been through, so we have to understand that we got to give each other time. It's going to take a few generations. We're not going to fix this overnight. We're not going to fix this just in a couple years over a few YouTube videos. It's not going to happen. We have to change our whole behaviors and mindsets, mentalities to an extent for a lot of us. So patience and hope, we gonna make it. Hopefully they'll forgive us. I believe they will.
Yeah. And Black folks, we are forgiving people.
Yeah, we are.
And then I want to say this too, because, and I'm going to play a clip that he's talking about a little bit about forgiveness. Let me play it first, and then we can discuss it. I'll play it.
I mean, you know what the brothers probably do? They probably say, you know what? I'm happy because of that. And in fact, I did a video saying, hey, you got to learn from rejection. But forgiveness don't mean I still got to deal with you, though. Like, somebody could do me wrong. I can forgive them, but that don't mean I'm going to be buddy-buddy with them next time. And I know some sisters say, well, they weren't the one who rejected that particular brother. You know what? It's like when I was in grade school. You get one person who get the whole class in trouble. And that happens. It happens. And it's happened with too many men. And see, that's the thing nobody wants to talk about. That's the thing sisters don't want to talk about, why they rejected a man. Because if you actually ask the women why they rejected those men when they were young, very few going to say they were just immature. Or why they even reject men now. And let's be real. It's mostly, even though many sisters don't want to say it, it's mostly on physical appearance. It's mostly on either lack of physical appearance or swag. It ain't even a money issue as much as some people might want to think it is. So when you rejecting a man who, you know what, instead of 6'2", he like 5'9", or you rejecting a man because, you know what, he ain't swagged out. It might be the best man for you if you just give him a chance.